Well, welcome back to another GovCon365 Snacktime Snippet. Today, we're going to be talking about the quote to order entry process here, typically found here within companies that are selling products to the federal government. And that's our specialty here, serving the needs in the government contractor community with Business Central. So as an opportunity comes in, opportunity may be started in a CRM opportunity, and that is another Snacktime Snippet series that we have. So please visit our CRM Snacktime Snippet series around CRM capabilities and opportunity management. But today we're going to be talking about really the quote process here and drop shipments that are typically found here for product sales into federal government opportunities. So we're going to talk about how that's integrated, going through the quoting process here, and then back through the order process. And really what's another unique capability here that we have is through having all these multiple items that are being purchased on a single order, multiple purchase orders are created for that single sales order. So it makes it real easy to track this order here and simple for you to find out sort of what delivery dates are and how the order process is going. So Paul, would you mind sharing and showing some of these capabilities?
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark, and thanks for everybody for joining us today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the quoting process. And one of the things that I love about our GovCon365 solution is it doesn't create walls for you. So whether you're selling products or providing services or manufacturing products for the federal government, we've got you covered on all fronts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about building a quote. So you can see from my interface, I'm a sales rep with GovCon365, and you're seeing the visualization below in the activity queues. It's giving me some general information about open quotes that I have, or maybe orders that are delayed, and I can drill into these quantities to see the detail behind it. And as I scroll down, you're seeing some nice charts, information about the top items that we sell, or some history of sales orders. So great visualization for both the sales reps and executives in these companies. But we're here today to talk a little bit about sales quoting. So we've got a lot of clients that are on SOUP contracts or USDA or other GWACs. And one of their critical steps is how can they efficiently and rapidly build quotes? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. So let's go ahead and build a quote from scratch, and let's pick a customer we're going to send a quote out to. So I'll pick a datum corporation, and someone from a datum calls me up, and they need a quote for a couple items. And let's pretend that they're a federal agency and they're going to use the SOUP contract. So the first thing I would do is I'd go ahead and identify the contract of work or the order is being placed under. So I'll choose the SOUP contract. And let's say that this customer said, I need to get it by the 25th of this month. So I just go ahead and enter 25. Actually, let me change the order. Let me change my work date here. I'm operating in a demo system, so it defaults it always to the 15th. Of January. So now when I say I need this by the 25th, it knows that I'm in March, and it puts it onto the 25th of March. And then I've chose the contract catalog that I'm going to use, and now we'll go down into the body. Let's go ahead and zoom the body of the quote out so we can see some more details here. When you're selling something, whether it's an item, you could also purchase something or sell something that's GL related. It doesn't use the inventory master, but for what we're doing today, we're going to use the inventory record there. So once I choose the contract, you can see it fills it in for me, and then I go ahead and choose what items. So in a prior Snacktime snippet, we showed the catalog for SOUP, and what you saw was there was just 3 items on there. So it filters the catalog down, so I'm just choosing from that subset. So I'll choose my Microsoft Surface Pro, and it adds that Microsoft Pro on there. It identifies who my preferred vendor is, and then I would just go ahead and we'll put the quantity. We'll say we just need one of these. And then if I have additional items I would want to add to this quote, I would just go down to the next line, and we'll do the same thing here. Scroll over to the left, and we'll choose another item. So, along with the Surface Pro, everybody needs a drone outer shell, right? So let's go ahead and we'll add that to our quote, and you can see the same thing as it added the, who is our preferred vendor, which I can override at any time if needed. And then finally, I just go ahead and put my quantity in there. So we'll say we just need one of those. And then once we've built that out, now a couple different things we could do. Let's go ahead and we'll skip these notifications. But maybe I want to show some details about those lines. Maybe it needs to be a little different, right? This is the way I need to send it to the vendor, but how the government quoted it is a little bit different. So we have something we call a print worksheet. And this goes to the simplicity of how I want to present the data. So if I wanted to go ahead and change the way that I want it to look, what I can do is just say, all right, let's bring in the lines from the main sales quote. But what I want to do is I want to change what it's going to print out. So let's just go ahead and copy the price, and we're going to go ahead and delete the top line. And what I want it to be called is just a bundle. The drone and the Surface together are a bundle. The only requirement is the total needs to match. And you can see you can do the math right inside of Business Central. So I just did a Control-C, Control-V, and I copied the unit price in there. So now what's going to happen is if I wanted to print that quote out, I could print it to either show the detailed lines, or I can leverage our print worksheet as a way to display the fact that it's a bundle. So for anyone selling to the federal government, I'm sure you've seen this scenario before, which is the government will only pay you if the invoice exactly matches. So we can have a quote that matches the way the government issued, that RFP or any kind of request for quote there. So now once I've identified what it is that I want to purchase, and let's just pretend that the vendor approves it or the customer approves it, so they give me their PO number. At that point, my job as a sales rep is done. And the next thing, depending on how order management works at your company, you can have an order manager that comes in and does the sourcing, right? So on the same document, they can either decide, yeah, we're going to use the same vendors, or maybe this one we're going to get it from American Wood Exports instead of our preferred vendor because maybe they're out of stock on it. So once you make that decision of who the preferred vendor is or who the final vendor is, you would just go ahead and turn this quote into an order. So that'd be my next step. I'll say make order, and we'll go ahead and convert it. And what you're going to see is it's going to take, now saying, okay, we converted it to order 10-10-70. And do you want to open up that new order? And we'll just say, yes, we want to open the new order. So now once that sales order opens up, what you're going to be able to see is all the detail that was on the quote has been shifted over to the sales order. And the sales order has been identified as a drop shipment. And you're seeing the details in the body here that we built on that quote. So now what might be interesting is it was a drop shipment, so I want to see some details about the vendor side. So I can just go to the order line, say drop shipment PO, and now what we'll see is the fact that we've got a purchase order tied to the sales order, and it's going to actually use the same PO number, right? So 10-10-70-01 is the Cool Wood vendor PO. And then if I go to the second line down, you'll see that it also built the PO. Oops, let me go to the second line. And we can do the same thing, and you'll see drop shipment PO, and we should see our 10-10-70-02 here. So for a lot of companies, it becomes a manual process, or actually 10-10-70. The 01 is the incremental one when I had a second PO. But what you see is it neatly tied the purchase order and sales order together. And then as we ship, it's going to receive on the sales or on the PO side. And then we also have the ability to add in tracking numbers if needed. So if we got the tracking number from the vendor there, I can just go ahead and we'll add serial numbers and tracking numbers onto the order. So what we're doing is building smart automation so that you can track these orders all within one system, neatly tying those drop shipments together and making it so there's not additional keystrokes to manage your business. So again, providing simplicity as well as contract rules as part of the application. And then finally, giving government contractors a solution that can meet the needs of both project and product requirements for your business. So thank you again for joining us for GovCon365 Snacktime Snippets. And you can check us out at www.govcon365.com.